started back in 1928 with Harry Williamson buying the King's Acre Nursery site and started growing roses and trees. And the business grew very rapidly as he was very entrepreneurial and very passionate about plants. The business grew and developed, and then under the leadership of his son, Peter Williamson, it expanded very rapidly as the business got involved in retail, setting up some of the first garden centres in the country. There was a landscape business and the nurseries grew as well. We're now in the third generation of the Williamson family and going from strength to strength with the same passion for plants. And we're very excited about the latest chapter, which is the trend we see developing for do it for me. And we're delighted to be working with Caroline and Kate to develop this idea. And the displays you can see today talk about that journey that we want to make with you as people move to having their gardens designed and enjoying their plants more. I'll keep the introductions quite short and hand over to Adam, and he'll explain about the proceedings for today.
What's going on today? I mean, we're really sort of flexible. We want to make the day work for you guys first and foremost. The plan is we have a wonderful tractor and trailer just sort of sat outside the front here, and we would encourage you to jump aboard that very shortly to have a sort of a tour around the 70 acres that is Wyevale Nurseries or container unit, and a sort of guided tour. And I really would recommend you do that and give you a real good flavour of what we're all about. So we'll be asking you to jump aboard there shortly. We've also got sort of teas and coffees on all day. Lunch is going to be sort of provided from sort of midday as well, so tuck into that when that arrives, please. And we're also, luckily enough, we've got two of the sort of leading garden designers that have agreed to give us some presentations later in the day. So we've got Caroline and Kate who will be giving a couple of talks at 11:30 and 2 o'clock. But before that, we thought it would be good for you to get an idea of how we've sort of created, say we, that's nothing to do with it whatsoever, how we have created these wonderful displays, because these have been created by Kate and Caroline. And by using all the plants that were around the nursery in the last sort of few days, and they look absolutely stunning. So thank you very much, ladies, for putting this together. But it's very much about sort of what's on trend, and Caroline and Kate are going to give us a bit more detail behind this before you jump on the sort of tractor and trailer and then see these plants in situ. So if I could hand over to Caroline and Kate just to give us a little bit.
To be here at Wyevale, it's a real honour to be working with them, and very exciting to be playing with plants. What we wanted to do was illustrate to you, and this is very important as designers and landscape designers, how you can use existing stock. Everything you see here was just on the gardens, on the garden nursery out here, nothing brought in, and use it to replicate Chelsea trends. We both went to Chelsea earlier this year, and if you retrieve the handout that's in your pack, there's a very whistle-stop tour of Chelsea trends there. I'm just going to talk you through those and explain to you how we created these based on those Chelsea trends, but using Wyevale stock.
Just to pick up on that, we went around and looked at all of the gardens and photographed them and distilled the 6 most important ideas for planting. Often it's colour, isn't it? But also, of course, texture and form for being arty, shape really, also very important. The trends are on boards here as well, and as Kate says, we've actually pulled together the trends and planted them up. We had about as much fun as 2 women can have with their clothes on 2 days ago, going around the nursery, gathering those plants up and creating this. And we'll go through this in more detail. One more thing I'd just like to say, and Kate's already mentioned it, but I want to reiterate it. It's something I teach at the school. Some of my students are sitting out there, and thank you for coming. Good planting is not about trying to find rare, exotic, specific cultivars. Because I bet then we tried to work on magic with the Chelsea trends here. So hopefully that clearly illustrates the difference.
It does, and what it illustrates is Wyevale are bang on trend. It was so easy to put together because the raw material is such good quality, and it really is bang on trend. Up there with the fashions. Right.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you just over the next half an hour about 3 different projects that I've been involved in, which I've used almost exclusively plants from Wyevale. And some of you might have been at the little talk that Kate and I gave right at the start of today, talking about the Chelsea trends. But I really am passionate about the quality of Wyevale plants. I was blown away the first time I came here. I'm sure you've enjoyed your tour as well.
Yeah, exactly.
We're easily...
Told you after some process.
So this particular one says what happened on the back there, like that. That's the side there.
Hi, how are you?
So, here we are, we've got burnished together, and I'm really excited because burnished was probably my favourite trend at Chelsea.
Absolutely. We saw it all over Andy Sturgeon's garden, and he had a star plant that the crowds were swooning for. He had Isoplexus canariensis, a bright orange, very tender digitalis. It was an amazing thing, and something that excited even the hard-nosed garden designers who've been done Chelsea for years. When he unloaded it off the van, they oohed and ahed.
However, the frustrating thing being, if I use that for my clients, too tender it would die and I'd have to replace the plants.
Yeah, in this country it's really a hothouse plant unless you live somewhere southern like Cornwall or the Scilly Isles. But Wyevale is the answer to your dreams because they have this incredible digitalis. Digitalis illumination flame, and not only is it gorgeous to look at with these fantastic burnished fingers of flowers, it's perennial, truly perennial. Not like the normal biennial digitalis. This will give you a flower for very long periods each year, year after year after year.
And we like that because not only is it good value, it's less work in the garden, we're all up for lower maintenance,
Absolutely.
and years of pleasure from one planting has got to be a good thing. There's something else I'd like to talk about just while we happen to have these 2 gorgeous plants next to each other. This second one is called Astilbe Brennan, and both of these plants actually will tolerate shades, which is an interesting thing. Now, here we can see that they are a very similar form or shape. They both have this elegant spire-like form, but a very different texture. Texture is a very subtle thing that a lot of people really don't understand, but I think that's a lovely illustration that this is fluffy and light and airy, this is solid and shiny. So similar form, tonal colour, very different texture. Texture is a subtle thing, but it's very important in good planting.
And teal, another big trend from Chelsea this year. We've recreated it with some plants from Wyevale, and I think it is so working brilliantly. I love this sort of silvery, burnished sort of seed at the bottom with this festuca, wonderful sort of frothiness up through the echinacea and the agastache. I think it's a fabulous, very interesting combination.
It's quite different to really focus on really two colours, the orange and the teal. And that coppery orange has been very strong in interior design. We've seen it inside for a few seasons now. Wonderful to see it venturing outdoors into the garden and creating a strong new trend.
Here we've got another wonderful example how Wyevale plants are bang on trend. This is a gorgeous foxglove. It's Digitalis Dalmatian peach. What a glorious soft peachy colour that really will blend with anything. It's such a versatile, gorgeous tone, it really is. And almost exciting because although they've been around forever, foxgloves, and they're considered very traditional, they were bang on trend at Chelsea this year. We saw them a lot all over the gardens there, but particularly on the LG garden, which almost had a sugar-sweet, pastely, frou-frou collection of plants, rather similar to what we've recreated here. People were oohing and ahhing in Chelsea, and with good reason. Foxgloves are brilliant. They've taken over from lupins to give you these tall, elegant spires and so on. They come in all sorts of shades. Pam's Choice is another white one with those purpley speckles, but I really am in love with this peachy tone. It does blend and tone with all sorts of things, and here in this design, I think you'll agree, it's kind of brought everything alive. It's given you that height, but it's blended it all together.
To be here at Wyevale, having just put together some fantastic displays of plants, just using plants we picked up off the nursery. For instance, Dryopteris ethrasaura. What a stunning fern. Look at how the foliage has that wonderful coppery tone. And notice how well that sits with the bark of the vetula tree there. It's a winning combination. At Chelsea, we found everywhere woodland planting and a celebration of shade. Not seeing shade as a problem, seeing shade as an opportunity where we can grow hostas. Hostas such as Alba marginata, or here at the back, really hitting you in the eye, Hosta Patriot. A wonderful combination. Contrast of colour, contrast of shape, contrast of texture. The three key elements of good planting.
Wyevale foliage, because we're in the woodland area, which of course was such a massive trend at Chelsea 2016. We saw it on Cleve West Garden so beautifully. A dapple canopy followed by lots of ferns and shade-loving gorgeous plants, which of course give the designer an opportunity to rise to that challenge and make shade less of a scary thing. It's a real challenge that people are responding to and enjoying and embracing shade.
In fact, even more than that, I think many designers are not even seeing it as a challenge at all, but as an opportunity, as an oasis of calm, cool, quiet, where there are no bright colours to distract the eye, the shapes, the textures become much more evident. So hostas like, for instance, Patriots, which has that lovely white variegated edge, really shine out of the gloom and really make a statement in the shady garden.
And of course ferns are so important, and Wyevale has an extensive range of ferns for dry shade, for boggy shade positions. It's an amazing selection they have here. And of course trees, lest we forget, they do field-grown transplants, container trees, to create this sort of wonderful canopy you see above us with these native birches.
So excited to talk about primary. When I went to Chelsea, I saw Hugo Bugg's garden and the L'Occitane garden with these quite hard primary colours. I didn't know what I made of it at first. I was a little bit out of my comfort zone. But I did notice that these primary colours were blended, either with grasses or with white. And that means they're much easier to use, almost like a sort of crazy meadow effect. And I was a bit nervous when we decided to put these plants together. I thought, am I going to get it? Is it really going to convey that trend that we'd seen at Chelsea. But you know, I'm absolutely thrilled with what we've achieved here.
Caroline's completely right. I'm scared of yellow and red and blue all together, and I think most of our clients are as well. Traditionally, people like pastel colours in the garden. They think they're soothing and gentle in the eye. Red and blue and yellow are challenging. They're not easy colours, but we saw it done in such a new, fresh way. Hubert blended it with these beautiful grasses. There was a lot of arid landscape that he put these colours in, and they totally worked. And as we built this planting scheme up together here at Wyevale, the more we added, the more excited we got. I'm really thrilled by this, because we've seen red, white and blue done hundreds of times before, traditional bedding schemes, and it always looks a bit old-fashioned. And here it looks young and fresh and new. The dahlia zings out amongst these delphiniums. I think it really works.
I do, and I think for me, the absolute star is one of the more understated plants, which is this coreopsis. What a fantastic texture. Really wonderful, and really, again, blending the other colours together.
Yes, with that slightly more lemon yellow.
Yeah,
it's not quite
exactly.
as harsh. It just blends through down to the salvia and the lavender again. I think it works. I think it's very harmonious. This moody, sultry palette on Joe Thompson's garden in Chelsea this year. Now, one of the star plants from Wyevale we've employed to recreate that sort of trend is this fantastic delphinium, Magic Fountain series. It's gorgeous. Look at that statuesque beauty. Those gorgeous deep blue flowers just on the verge of opening. It's a fantastic thing to give you lots of height, and it keeps going with that dark tone, that sort of moody blues feel that's all amongst this planting.
We found when we put the planting together that really it was this delphinium that was the sort of X factor. But really that height, that statuesque form brought it alive. Charlie Olborn also showing this bruised colour palette at Chelsea. It's one that's going to run, and just like Mr. Darcy, I'm a big fan.
Well, we're ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's finished their sausage rolls, so here we are. Thank you for staying on and listening to me waffle on. I'm Kate Durr, and I recently qualified from the Wholesale Garden School, where I did a diploma in professional garden design. That was 2015. But during that time, I was rather rashly encouraged by the principal, Caroline, who you heard talk earlier, to enter a show garden design at Malvern.
Who is Plant Development Coordinator. Ben, tell me what that job entails.
Well, it means trialling a lot of varieties, going around nurseries, breeders and other suppliers, finding new product to suit our customers. It's a good job.
Yeah? So, where did your interest in horticulture come from?
Well, it's in the family. My granddad had a nursery which I kind of brought up on. So when I was about 14, I started working at another nursery and then developed from there. I did a degree and now I'm working at Wyevale.
And you're clutching something. Tell us about this fabulous looking feasty.
So this is Rogersia Bronze Peacock. It has won the most popular vote today from our customers poll. So it's a fantastic new selection of Rogersia, really dark leaves, bright, vibrant pink flowers, stays compact, real improvement for Rogersia.
What more can you want from a plant? I certainly know it got my vote.
Yes, and mine too. You can see the yellow stickers here telling us it's number one. Everybody's
It's got
favourite.
everything, hasn't it? Coloured foliage, as you say, that nice compact size. It's even coordinated with both of our outfits.
So what are you working on this year? What's the most exciting new product that I assume is for 2017?
We've got a whole range. It's been so much fun. We're looking at new fruit ranges, a lot of shrubs, a lot of hydrangeas. We have our flagships, which is hydrangea formiums, and a lot more herbaceous. So there's a lot to come, a lot more exciting product through Wyevale Nurseries.